Okay, let's get into this one today. So what I'm specifically going to take you through here is the $30,000 per month freedom blueprint. So it's going to give you the full understanding of exactly how you're going to build your business to 5 to 10K per month, 20K per month, or 30K per month, or even more. It really depends on what your personal aspirations are. So let's actually get into the presentation itself. So, as we've already discussed, there are going to be 3 phases of growth. Okay, so phase 1 is simply when you are in what I call survival mode. Okay, but you're making anywhere from 5 to 10K per month. Phase 2 is where you feel and you are financially stable. So phase 2, you're making 10 to 20K per month and you are financially stable. Phase 3 is the freedom number. That's $30,000 a month. So when you're looking to build your business and when looking to grow a $30,000 per month lifestyle business, it is only going to be broken down into those 3. And it's 3 phases essentially. And it's how you use your time and how much money you make. But importantly, this business model does not require you to have junior coaches or a CSM, appointment setter, or a closer. You can build your business to $30,000 per month without needing to outsource your lead generation, your sales, or your client fulfillment. This business model itself handles that for you, helping you, really importantly here, to keep around 90% profit margins. So your clients are achieving high results, consistent results, and they are enjoying their time in your service, and you get to keep most of the money that you make. Hopefully, that's what you're interested in. So again, it's how you're using your time and how much money you make, and that's what we're going to go down into. So just let me quickly explain what I call phase 1 survival mode. And the reason I call it survival mode, if anything happens to you, if you're unable to show up for work, maybe there's been a family emergency, maybe you've come down with a sickness, maybe you've had an accident, whatever it may be. But if you are unable to show up and be present in your business, then very quickly you're going to find yourself in a difficult situation. But also, the reason you're in survival mode, if a client or 2 leaves, then you're going to lose that recurring payment that they were paying you. You will immediately find yourself in financial difficulties. So 5 to 10K per month is survival mode, and that's phase 1. So our job is to get you from phase 1 to phase 2 as quick as fucking possible. Okay. So phase 2 is where you are moving into financial stability. So you're making anywhere between 10, 20K every single month. And you are financially stable here because even if a client leaves, you're still going to have enough recurring payments coming in that is not going to put you into difficulties. But it's also, if anything happens to you, and let's just say, for example, you're unable to onboard any clients for, a 4 to 6 week period of time, the existing clients that you've already got there within your recurring payments gives you that stability. Okay, so it's really get into phase 2, make it a priority as quick as possible, because it will really just give you so much more peace and calmness within your business. Because any single time like you're in desperation or you're in fear or you're in lack and you think, fuck, if this client's been a bit of a fucking pain in the ass, but if they leave, that's going to basically make it difficult for me to pay my bills this month. You want to be in a position where you are not fearful, not out of alignment, and in a place where even if you do become unavailable for a short period of time, it doesn't negatively impact you financially. And if a client leaves, it doesn't impact you negatively. Okay, so it's the best place you can get yourself to internally is to make sure that financially you have that stability, because that allows you to stay present. It allows you to stay on course. It doesn't mean that you're going to drop into acting out of fear or lack or desperation. And then when you're operating from that energy or that frequency, that's what you're going to attract. And then that's where things start becoming a little bit more difficult. Everything starts building up, and all of a sudden you find yourself in a pretty shitty situation. And that's not what I want for you. Phase 3, it's all about the freedom number. Okay, so $30,000 per month is that freedom number. The reason I call it freedom, when I personally started making $30,000 a month back in 2022, that's when I actually felt like I could live my life without limits. There was nothing I could really not do outside of like luxuries and materialism, so cars, watches, like whatever that kind of shit is. But when it just comes to living your lifestyle, enjoying a good lifestyle, being able to go to the restaurants you want, eat the food you want, buy the things that you want, treat the people that you love, travel the way that you want, at 30 grand a month, that's all available to you. Okay, you can live completely free, abundantly, and you don't have to make compromises. You don't have to make sacrifices. You can, save and invest. It's all available to you at 30K per month. That's why I call it the freedom number. Okay, so I just wanted to quickly go through that. So let's get into it. So as you already know, there are 3 things I want you to build your business around: purposeful work, prosperity, and freedom. That's what gives you a lifestyle business. If you can set the intention that I'm going to make good fucking money doing work that I'm inspired to do and I love to do, and I'm not going to have to trade my money for this, trade my time for money for this, and I'm going to get to live with a true sense of freedom in my life, to set those intentions, that's what you want, and that's what you will attract. That's what you will build. The whole thing we build is around those principles: purposeful work, money, freedom. If that's not what you want, you're in the wrong place. If it is what you want, you're going to fit right in here. So we make money, we get to serve people, enjoy purposeful work, and then we get to live with that true sense of freedom, a limitless and prosperous lifestyle. Okay, so how the fuck do we do it becomes the next question. So you are going to have 3 main constraints. Okay, so that is you're in obscurity, you're cash strapped, or you're trading your time for money. So what do I mean by that? Well, if you're in obscurity, quite simply, not enough people know that you exist. Because they don't know you exist, how can they know how you can be of service to them? You are cash strapped because you've got an inadequate system that doesn't consistently bring you paying clients, and it's making you financially unstable. The opposite of what we're trying to get to here. Third is you're trading your time for money. You're quite simply, you're working hard, okay, but you're not working smart, and you're trading your time for money. You've still got an employee mindset, and you've not understood the insane power of leverage and systems and all of the things that are available to us. So the 3 main constraints: you're in obscurity, you're cash strapped, and you're trading your time for money. And guess what? There are solutions to these. So the solution to being in obscurity is proximity. Okay. So you're very much fucking, I can't even fucking write. I'm not even going to do that because trying to write on my with my big sausage fingers on that screen is good. You're in proximity. Okay. Then you've got cash strapped. What's the solution to being cash strapped? Well, you're in the process of learning it now. The omnipresent growth flywheel and the covert selling system. What's the solution to trading your time for money? Was building your signature intellectual property and installing the leverage growth model. So the proximity effect: build visibility, okay, and consistently pull right people in. When you are attracting the right people and they are consistently encountering you, your thoughts, your processes, your methodologies, your personality, that proximity to you is what helps them to make a decision for themselves that they are interested in continuing to follow you, continuing to consume you, wanting more education from you, i.e. going into your lead magnets, your mini series, or whatever it may be, but also getting to the point where they can make a decision for themselves. I like this person and I actually want to work with this person. Now, the omnipresent growth flywheel is simply an evergreen lead generation and sales system that consistently can bring you paying clients in a very effortless way. Okay, it's effortless sales because, again, it's time on brand, it's time consuming you, it's time exposed to your ideas, your methodologies, your processes, everything that makes you uniquely you and shows people you're fucking good at what you do. I can serve people, I can have a positive impact. Signature intellectual property and a leverage growth system. You have processes, you have methodologies, you have brought your skill set to the marketplace. Okay, so when you understand how to properly package your signature intellectual property, and then you start using a leverage growth system, that's how you can start to scale beyond a one-on-one service where you're very much trading time for money and there's a glass ceiling and there's a capacity on what you can achieve. And, you know, very much a limitation there, but it's where you can start serving people in a more leveraged manner and clients can still be served exceptionally well, but importantly, without you burning out, without you becoming the constraint of your own goddamn business. Okay. So let's get into it a little bit deeper. So in order to get the $30,000 per month business, you need to get out of obscurity by getting people having proximity to you. So how do you do that? Well, you're going to build an audience of your ICP. You're going to position yourself as a category of one and a leader in your market, and you're going to learn how to generate interest and demand. So let's get into it. So proximity effect. What is being referred to here is specifically the lack of leads that you'll have for being in obscurity. And our solution to that is you want to be able to attract qualified leads every single day. There are three main areas of focus. We attract and we build an audience specifically of your ICP. You set the intention that you will become a category of one and you will absolutely lead your market. The third is generating interest and demand through your indoctrination series and through the omnipresent growth flywheel. So let's go through it bit by bit. So how do you start to build the audience of your ICP? Comes down to service-led content that you're going to be producing and the people that you're going to be reaching out to. So there are only a few ways that you can build an audience. You post content that attracts, you reach out to people privately and invite them in. You have somebody who you can leverage somebody else's audience and you can get referrals, or you can pay for ads to build your audience. Depending on where you're at right now, it's very, very easy. Do you have money to pay for ads to build an audience? No. Okay, that one's wiped off the list. Do you have a referral system that you can depend on reliably to not just build your audience, but to fill your service? If you don't have that, okay, cool. No point in prioritizing it. So it then comes down to the content that you're producing and publishing and also the people that you're reaching out to. Just bear in mind, once they are in your world, whether they found your profile or whether you've invited them to your profile, it's all the same thing. It's all the same thing. So the service-led content is the primary focus here, but also if you're not getting reach and if you're not growing by at least 20 to 30 people a day, like a net gain of that at least through your content, then look, just start reaching out to some people, okay? Start building the audience, okay? Because if you don't, you're not going to have sales opportunities, so everything else goes to waste. So you focus on specifically, what do I need to produce? How do I need to communicate? How do I attract my ICP? You build your content around that. Fantastic. That's going to start building the audience. You use the indoctrination series and the omnipresent growth flywheel to produce content that will resonate specifically with your ICP. It will attract them, okay? Because when people understand this series or this particular profile, it is producing content specifically educating me on how to solve problems. And if somebody has those problems and you are providing solutions and education and proof around that, then they're going to want more from you. That's where they go into the growth flywheel itself, and that's where the proximity effect really starts to take effect. It will make them want to follow you or connect with you, but importantly, start consuming your content. Start getting more time on your brand, okay? Bingers are buyers. The more time they spend consuming you, the higher likelihood that they're one day going to buy from you. But also reach out to people that match your ICP. Just invite them into your world. I promise you, if you do that, you just allocate 45 minutes to an hour a day to do that for yourself in the earlier stages, it will pay off for you, and it will pay off significantly for you. And those who refuse to do that or resist doing that, and they just want to rely on the content, and then the content's not working, and then they're bitching and moaning and feeling depressed about the results they're not been getting, take responsibility for yourself. Again, once they're in, whether you've reached out to them or whether they found you and chose to follow you, once they are there, it's all the same thing. Stop making a mountain out of a molehill. You can run ads to build your ICP, but if you don't have the finances or the capability to do that at the moment, focus on outreach, focus on your content, okay? Super simple. Right, how do you become a category of one? Well, we're going to go a lot deeper in the what makes you a category of one questionnaire that you're going to do. When we're speaking about becoming a category of one and a leader in your market, what I specifically mean here is there are so many other people out there that do what you do. It could be hundreds, if not thousands. And they serve people in the same way as you. Okay? Meaning the problems that they're solving. They may have different ways of doing it, but you get what I mean. There is only one of you. You are unique. You are a one of one. So I want you to give yourself permission to become a category of one and start leading. And it's not like a mass movement. I'm not talking about becoming some celebrity, unless that's what you want for yourself, or some massive influential person, but it's just a leader of your own mini movement. Okay, just something where you've got this small pocket of people in the billions of people that are using the internet. You just need a couple of thousand people who are genuinely real fans of you. Okay, there's literally a book out there, 1,000 True Fans. All you need is 1,000 true fans. Yes, you're going to have a large percentage of your audience that follow you, never buy from you. Okay, there's a certain percentage of people that will buy for you at some point, and there are some people that will buy from you right now because it's the right time for them. But if you know that if I can build an audience where within that audience I have 1,000 true fans, and that will make me financially free, does that not sound pretty attainable? And all of a sudden, having hundreds of thousands or millions of followers is the way that you become, ultra wealthy. It isn't, okay? Alex Hormozi, for example, he was a complete unknown person, built like a $50 million net worth before he even, started building a personal brand, okay? Because he had good systems, he understood marketing and selling, and he was bringing people in. You don't need to be an influential person to become extremely successful and well off. What you do need to do is just set the intention that you will become a leader of your own little mini movement. You have your unique methodologies. You have your unique personality, and you want to position yourself in such a way that you are undeniable. What I mean by you being undeniable is people can't question who you are, what you do, and what it can do for other people. Okay, you build undeniable proof that you're the exact fucking person that you say you are. Okay, and you show up that way. You have your expertise. You've already got them. You can keep building on them, but you're already coming to this with some expertise. You have authority. You have signature intellectual property. You've got a unique mechanism, a proprietary system that resonates specifically with your ICP, helping them to view you as an expert, as the authority, and as the best solution for them, somebody who just genuinely gets them. When they look at you, they feel seen, heard, understood, and importantly, they trust you and they feel safe with you. That's why you want to become a category of one. How do you generate interest and demand? Well, that's going to be through your service-led content and your conversations. So we generate interest and demand through the content and the conversations. So that's your indoctrination series. That's going to be your ongoing lead magnets. And that's driving people into your omnipresent growth flywheel. Okay, so we've got the service-led content that actually serves people and it pulls them further into your ecosystem. Look, if you're creating vague bullshit content that is lacking substance, and it's not really showing you to be an expert, people are judging you on what you are showing them. So if you hold your best stuff back, if you think somehow that is a good strategy that's going to gain you more business, then you quite simply do not understand how the market is operating in 2026 and also in 2025. We are in a very much attention economy. And information is abundant now. You've got the social media platforms, you've got YouTube, you've got AI. So people having access to information isn't scarce anymore. Do you mean it's there and it's never been easier to get information? What they need is ideas, personality, proof. They need to see real world examples of how to solve a problem so that they can, like, people are still looking for information from AI or from people. Okay, you want to be one of the people that your information that you are sharing is so fucking good. Again, it makes you undeniable. It shows this person genuinely knows what the fuck they're doing. This person has solutions to my problems. This person has actually shown me the solutions to my problems. Okay, this is why I call it service-led content. Imagine you're creating content for a particular client. So let's just say you've got a one-on-one client and you're unable to jump on a call with them, but you just want to be able to send little videos, you know, maybe 30 seconds, 60 seconds, 90 seconds long. Send a video serving them, telling them what they need to do, telling them what they need to understand. Or, you know, even when you're creating like your longer form content on your YouTube, imagine you're creating that content for a paying client and you really want to serve them and you really want to help them because you're unable to jump on a one-on-one call. If you create stuff from that standpoint, do you not think your content will be better? Do you not think it will perform better? Do you not think it will attract better? It's service-led content for a reason, okay? And it's the thing that will pull people closer to you and further into your ecosystem and have a higher likelihood of buying. We have to get people to raise their hands through your content. We want to be able to drive inbound asset requests and open up service-led conversations, okay? So we're going to have the series, lead magnets, mini magnets, so on and so forth, okay? You want to be constantly out there every single day trying to get people to raise their hand and say, hey, I want that thing that you've just offered. And whatever they get that thing, make sure that thing is bloody good as well. So that it's actually tangible. They feel it was valuable. It delivered on whatever the promise was, okay? These are all core components that help you to get more sales. You drive traffic from your social media profiles into the indoctrination series, into the omnipresent growth flywheel, and letting the proximity effect take effect. That's why it's the proximity effect. Those are all designed to work together. Okay, so these are the things there's like a lot of continuity between all of them. There's a lot of, everything is linked. Okay, everything is designed to work together, and it's a very leveraged way of increasing how much interest and demand you can generate for your business and helping people wanting to move forward, because they get genuine value from you. You are solving problems. They are resonating with who you are, how you do things, and the value that you're providing. So naturally, what happens? They become interested in you. and then you will drive more demand towards the service. So that is exactly how you build an audience of your ICP, position yourself as a category of one, and how you're going to generate interest and demand. Moving on to making sure that you're not cash strapped, and how you can, the solution to those being the flywheel and the covert sales. So we've got covert sales, an offer that sells itself, cash campaigns, and effortless sales. So fixing cash strapped, very simple. You're going to use the omnipresent growth flywheel, covert sales. That's how we fix it. So you can convert anywhere 4 to 8 clients a month. Depending on what your goals are, you may want to increase volume on that. What we've typically seen, people are very happy with that type of volume coming into their business. That will help you build a 20 to 30K per month business without having to trade loads of time for money, building massive infrastructure and teams and complexity and high payroll and all of that bullshit. This is a lean business model, lifestyle business model that's going to put, good profits, good cash in your pocket. So, covert selling. What I mean by covert selling, it's the art of service-led selling through teaching. I've been doing what I've been doing now, close to 6 years. In July, it'll be 6 years. Okay. And in that time, I've worked with close to 500 people, and it won't surprise you what I'm about to say, but the service-based industry space, so coaches, consultants, educators, they are fantastic when it comes to the service. When it comes to marketing and selling, that's not their skill set. Their skill set is in the service. So you try and learn sales as a necessity, because without it, well, how the fuck am I going to make the money? However, even when you're going to learn in marketing, what am I teaching you here? Service-led content, service-led selling. It's all built around how you serve people, which makes it super fucking easy for you, because all then you're doing is communicating how you are of service to people. So how do you serve people? What are your ways of doing that? Teach it. Educate people in your content. And if that's a struggle for you, then maybe you don't have the expertise you think you do right now to be of service, because it's very easy for a service provider to be like, oh, I'm not going to have to try and learn this marketing strategy or this sales process or this script or this thing. They disengage. When it's like, right, all I have to do is get clarity on what my signature intellectual property is, how I am of service to people, and then I'm going to build my offer so that is super easy for people to understand. Based on that, I'm going to build my indoctrination series. Based on that, I'm then going to create a content system, a content cadence with content pillars where I just communicate. So look, if they if they resonate, so again, offer helps build a series. Series helps identify your pillars, which then goes into basically how you produce content and what happens inside the flywheel. So if they resonate with your content, then they have to resonate with the fucking service, because all you're doing is you're communicating what you do inside the service. So the art of service-led selling through teaching, and it's the content and the conversations, you are covertly selling people because you are doing discrete product placements. You are showing people. You're not just fucking telling people, you are showing them. And people believe what they can see. Seeing is believing. But if you're being vague or ambiguous and you're not really showing people, and you're just waffling and you're just talking and you're just posturing, people can see through that bullshit. Okay? But if you can covertly, through teaching, through educating, through having a service-led approach to your marketing, you will covertly sell people, because once they see it as like, oh, I understand this feels a good fit for me, I understand how this actually solves this problem that I've been having. The resonance becomes there. The decision for themselves, the alignment, the fit, the readiness, that gets to a point where somebody makes that decision for themselves. They will decide that they want to work with you. You do not have to convince anybody to work with you. Your job is to put out information, have the information be so good that however people get introduced, whether they opt in for it themselves or whether you invite them into it, doesn't fucking matter. Once they're there, it doesn't have the juice. So covert selling is simply through service-led teaching, content, education, and the discrete product placement is there because you are basically teaching them what you do inside the service. And do not feel that that's going to cost you sales. What's going to cost you sales is not showing them that. Because there are other people out there that are showing them that and they say, oh, I see this. I see how this works. This feels like a good fit for me. I want to have access to this person. I want to work closely with this person. I don't just want to consume free content, even though it's good. Because the implementation and the accountability and the execution of these things is what they're paying for. Again, information is so readily available at the moment. So you just giving bullshit information is no different to them going to ChatGPT or Claude and asking them questions and just getting some vague information. The second thing, you need to have an offer that sells itself. So what I mean by this, we create a VSL, you have an offer, and it's so compelling when people read it, see it, hear about it, it can sell itself. People want to buy it based on what they have just seen or read. No chasing, no convincing. They are buying, you are not selling. So when you move into the packaging your offer, that's what we're looking to do. Have it so when people see it or they read it, it helps them to get to a decision for themselves. I want this. I don't want you having to convince or try and sell people on the idea of working with you. I want you to develop the skill of making people want to work with you because you've removed reasons for them to say no. And what I mean by that is you've just made it so painstakingly clear. If you are this type of person, struggling with these problems, want to achieve this outcome, this is how I do it for you. Here's my methodology. Here's the process. Here's the stages of growth, whatever it may be. Here's the time duration. Here's the cost. Here's the easy next step for you to get started if that's what you feel like is a fit for you. People do not want to be sold to. People want to get to a position where they make an informed decision, purchasing decision for themselves. Do not try and sell people. Get good at giving the information that helps people want to buy it for themselves. You're going to learn that all the way through the through this service and category of one anyway. The third part is effortless sales, and you do that by cash campaigns. So you run the cash campaigns, and this is going to drive those 4 to 8 clients a month. Again, you're going to have other people that join throughout the month. You don't reject sales unless you do like a cohort based thing where you know every month you start a new cohort and there's a start date every single month. But if not, and you can just have evergreen enrollments, people can come in whenever they feel like it's the right time for them. You want to be able to do that. Leads every day, sales every week. But if you if you have a cohort-based thing, again, just say, okay, well, next cohort is starting on this date. If you want to get in now, you can put your deposit down, you can make your payment, and then we can do the onboarding closer to the time. But you always run a cash campaign regardless of the business model that you've got, okay? Because there are people that are going to be consuming content, maybe been in conversations, maybe they've been reading your emails, maybe they've been watching your YouTube videos, but you'll just be surprised at how few people just take the initiative to click through. But when you go and run a cash campaign, you say, hey, I'm opening up X spots for the target market who are struggling with pain, want to achieve outcome over insert time frame, and then a campaign that basically takes them through exactly what that's going to look like for them. Okay, and people will just then they read the emails or they'll see the stories or the personal invitations that you reach out to people with. But people will see it, and the information in the cash campaign is the catalyst to them saying, okay, now is the right time for me. Now's the time I'm going to take that step. So people will apply. They come to the call ready to move forward because they're literally applying through a campaign. That's when it becomes a conversion call and an onboarding call, and it can be done all in one. You don't want to be doing discovery calls. You don't want to be doing demo calls. You don't want to be doing consultations. Your content, your marketing does all of the education. You don't book calls to try and educate people on how you do what you do. Okay, don't waste your time with that. The calls that you booked are with people that are coming because they are genuinely interested and considering moving forward with you. Now, you're not going to get to a point where you get 100% close rate. But if you're booking calls with people that have been properly educated, qualified, nurtured, and they've got to a point where they're making a decision, I'm interested in this, fantastic, get them booked in, go through the finer details of everything, collect the payment, sort out the agreement, and then pretty much conduct, the onboarding. So here's what's going to happen next. Here's what you're going to receive next. Here's what I need you to do next, whatever your onboarding process is, okay? So again, I'm going to go through these one by one. So covert selling is a combination of the indoctrination series, flywheel, proximity effect, and the style of content that's produced and distributed. So it uses what I call a stepping stone funnel. And all a stepping stone funnel is a series of easy yeses. So each little thing is an easy next step for them, an easy next step, an easy next step. And what happens is they just keep going through the process, and there is a continuity and a congruency between all of that. And it's just designed all of these assets that just move people from a stranger or a cold lead to a hot lead who's ready to buy. Please understand, most people are not going to buy from you the first time they encounter you. They are going to buy after sustained proximity to you and a deeper resonance with you specifically. The longer somebody stays close to you, the more they consume from you, the more likely they are to sell themselves on wanting to work with you. So what do they need from you is a redistribution of your content from exactly how you serve people. What did I say? All of your content is basically derived and distributed from how you actually serve people in the service itself. They resonate with the content and they have to resonate with the service. Your omnipresent growth flywheel. Okay, so there's an authority engine there that keeps people close to you, which means that they're going to understand your philosophies, your perspective, your proof, your ecosystem, and your level of authority. Trust and certainty naturally compound over time. That is what I call the proximity effect. So it's proximity to familiarity to trust, resonance, readiness, effortless conversion. Okay, that all happens inside this content system with the growth flywheel, with the series, the proximity effect. It's all happening within there. Okay, and it's covertly selling people because they feel like they're being served, they feel like they're being educated, they feel like they're getting genuine value. They are, but discreetly, covertly, it's selling them on wanting to work with you. Build an offer that sells itself, where you're going to use the 5 pillars of the high converting offer. The 5 pillars, each point strengthens the trust, but also reduces hesitation. Okay, the offer doc is built in a specific way, utilizing these 5 pillars because there is buying psychology involved in it. Okay, that's why we use it. If one point is weak or missing, the entire offer loses its strength. But when all 5 are clear, the offer becomes easy to understand, very important, but also emotionally safe to join. So logically and emotionally, it lands. Okay. I want you to understand how you can sell your offer. It's like I mentioned to you, I believe it is on the onboarding. But basically, your offer document is on a piece of paper, and all you're going to do is slide it across the table to a dream prospect. They pick it up, they read it. Once they've completed reading it, they look up and say, that sounds great, I understand it, let's do it. Now, your offer doc also doubles up as a VSL. So basically, a VSL is just video sales letter, but essentially it's still communicating and reiterating the same information as your offer doc. It's just done in a video, so it's more personal. They get to sit with you for 10 or 15 minutes. Again, it's another time investment, but again, it's more consumption of how you are of service to them. telling them exactly what it's going to do for them, and getting them more interested, more ready to buy. That's how you create an offer that sells itself. Cash campaigns, we do a 1-in-3 ratio. So 3 weeks of generating interest and demand, and that's through your service-led content, indoctrination series, getting people into the growth flywheel, the proximity effect. 3 weeks of leading your market, being of service, being valuable. Then we open up 1 week. And again, you're going to pick up sales in those 3 weeks. If they become available, you take them. You don't push cash away unless you've got a cohort thing, like I said. But then you open up 1 week every single month, and you're going to run a cash campaign. It's going to be a fresh campaign that will have a different theme every single month. But there is a limited amount of spaces that are available during a particular time duration. So over the next 5 days or over the next 7 days, I'm opening up X spots for blah, blah, blah. What we do here is we're processing and progressing warm, interested people that are ready to buy through it. So again, there are going to be people that you don't know, but they are consuming, they are watching, they are getting value, they are moving closer towards you without actually communicating that to you. And then when you run a campaign, you give people an easy opportunity to raise their hand and say, yep, I'm interested in this. Can you send me more details? Or if you personally reach out to them and say, hey, based on some of our previous conversations, and based on what we've been discussing, I'm just about to open up a few spaces. I wanted to come to you personally about this. Would achieving X outcome in time frame be something that you'd be interested in some information about? If they say yes, here's the information, and then they're in. Okay. So there is public invitations, private invitations, and that's how you always maximize these sales opportunities. Remember, you're running a service-led business, okay? So be of service, communicate with people, connect with people. If you want people to pay you 4 or 5 figures, give them some time. Give them a personal connection to you, okay? I promise you it'll make things so much better when they come in because you've already got that personal bonding connection. So during the campaign, you are going to fill whatever capacity you've got, whether that's 4, 6, 8, whatever spaces you've got available, okay? If you've got one-on-one, it maybe only be 2. Again, it's completely subjective and down to you. Beyond that point, the intake closes, applications will no longer be accepted, and they will have to wait for the following month, okay? So within the cash campaign, there's a little bit of copy within there that just lets them know that this particular deal that I'm opening up now is only available. Outside of that, it's just standard practice and how they come in. But when you've got an offer that sells itself, and then we run these marketing campaigns, these cash campaigns, this is how you get effortless conversions, because everybody that will be coming to you from the campaign is basically coming because you have basically said, I have this opportunity. I'm only working with this X amount of people. So if you're interested in the information, so any person that's taken the information is already interested, okay? But the effortless conversion comes from making sure that you've been covertly selling people all the time. Making sure that you've got an offer that sells itself. That's part of the cash campaign. It's feeding people towards the offer. So do you see how it all comes together? Now, moving into effortless sales, which is important. It's all a combination of what has come before. So when you've built an audience of your ICP, when you've positioned yourself as a category of 1 and you've been intentionally leading your market, when you've generated interest and demand through your indoctrination series, the growth flywheel, and remember in the growth flywheel, they're getting all of your content, social proof, client wins, ongoing emails, long form videos, all of that is residing inside the growth flywheel, okay? But also through the service-led private conversation you're having with people, every single person, they've gone through that sequence. So now that they've seen a VSL and the offer document and they've clicked through to apply to work with you, that's how you get effortless conversions. Because you are only speaking with people that have gone through a sequence and have got to a point where they have decided they want to work with you. And that's basically why they're booking a call, because they're ready to go. They're ready to move forward. That's how you get effortless conversions, okay? It's because of all of the other effortless conversions happen because you've built an audience of your ICP, you're being a category of one and you're leading this audience, you're generating interest and demand through service-led content, service-led conversations, your mini series, your lead magnets, your ongoing content system. You're then, because of what's happening there, you're also covertly selling people. When you run your cash campaign, it takes people towards your offer doc. That's how you get the effortless sales. Okay, it's a combination of these things, and they all are interlinked. They are all essentially part of the same system. Okay, moving on. So trading your time for money, how do you fix that? The solution, signature intellectual property. And again, with how you build your offer, there's an inspiring customer journey. What's it look like for the first 30 days, 60 days, 90 days, 180 days and beyond, whatever the length of your service is? How do you then properly package that intellectual property so it's time and energy protected? How do you create a choreographed client experience? So what are the touch points? What are the milestones? What's the intentionality? So again, this is for the signature intellectual property and the leverage growth model. If you're in phase one and you're really just trying to get towards financial stability, just focus, like I said, one core offer, just do a one-on-one. Easiest for you to sell people into, highest price point that you can sell currently at the moment as well, gives you the ability to test your work, okay, because it's giving you the ability to make sure that your processes and how you do things is constantly getting results for people that are resonating with it, so on and so forth. Okay, so you don't want to just go into building a course before you've actually gone and tested it live with clients and really giving yourself the confidence and the certainty that you could sell this ethically without really just testing and proving its the quality of this. Okay, so you don't want to have a lack of systems that lead to you working hard, not smart. Okay, first and foremost, the solution is you want to be able to deliver exceptional results and the results that people are paying you for and hiring you for, okay? But without trading your time for money. So again, depending if you're in phase one, you just want to focus on selling out your one-on-one, maybe working towards like 10 or 15 people that have gone through your one-on-one. You're going to get a lot of feedback from that. You're going to get a lot of proof from that. You can start recording and documenting like training to them as you go through it. And then when you're ready to move into a leverage growth system, you've already got a body of work that's properly tested and proven. Okay, but if you're watching this now when you're already, in financial stability and you're looking to scale, when you're transitioning from one-to-one into one-to-many and, using video content and structured curriculum and so on and so forth, you want to make sure the client has the ability to get the results they're still paying you for. So it's not always determined on their level of access to you or their proximity to you specifically on a one-on-one call for them to get the results. Okay, people are still going to be hiring you, whether it's in a group program or whatever it may be. They're still hiring you to achieve results. So you need to just make sure you can still deliver on those promises, but without trading your time for money. So this is broken down into 3 parts. You've got the inspiring customer journey. There has to be an inspiring customer journey. So if you break it down into stages or phases, what did they achieve in the first 30 days? What they achieved within the first 2 months or 3 months? What's achieved by 6 months? If you've got a 12-month offer, what's achieved within that period of time? What you want to do is, yes, firstly, we want to sell the destination. We want to sell the outcome of the full service. But if we simply break it down into smaller cycles, when they come in, they understand that in phase 1, this is what they're going to be working towards with a specific outcome. Then they go into phase 2, then they go into phase 3, whatever it may be. Okay. The reason that you want to do that is there's smaller stages of growth or achievement, and it makes it easier for the customer to be able to see what the journey looks like ahead, but also to be able to commit to the process and to show up knowing and kind of fully believing that they can achieve this milestone throughout this process. So you want to build a 30K per month business. Okay, cool. Well, first, what's phase 1? What's phase 2? What's phase 3? You're literally seeing it played out in this service, okay? Because you can't go from 5K to 30K like that. Because most people are at 5K, it's not consistent 5K or 10K. There's inconsistencies, okay? They're not financially stable. So my first thing, let's get you from being cash strapped and in survival mode to financially stable. Once you're financially stable, let's reside there for a little bit. Let's normalize that. Let's not just go bang, 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 and then have massive drops. Let's get consistency. That's what financial stability is. Once you've then done that, right, what does the next 12-week cycle look like? So how do we grow? Where's the additional volume coming from? What's the process looking like? Are we changing the pricing? Are we moving into paid advertisement? Whatever it may be, okay? But when somebody comes in, even if there's a North Star that they're working towards with you, cool, break it down into smaller stages or cycles that they can focus on. It's easier for them to see the achievement of that. And that's still meaningful and it's still part of the process. So, you know, when people climb Mount Everest, there's different kind of base camps that they get to. So they walk for a day, then they stop, they do this. It's the same thing. Your job isn't to try and get somebody from the bottom of the mountain to the top of the mountain in one hit. It's letting them look up and be like, right, my first target, our first goal is to go towards this specific point. That's all I'm focused on. And the achievement of that is still meaningful. It's still progress being having, okay? There's still win, there's still achievement there. And then after that is what are we moving towards next? Now, the other benefit of this is now you're extending lifetime value, okay? Because they understand that even if they have achieved whatever phase one is, they go into phase two, phase three, whatever it may be. Now, even as they start moving towards the end of your service, what's the next goal that they're going to have? Because all you then do is you just amplify that. So now that we've achieved this, where's next for you? Like, what's the thing that you really want? Okay, it's XYZ thing, whatever it is. Okay, cool. Right. Here's what that would look like. That's where you can get renewals. That's where you can get extensions. Okay. So don't have this this mindset that it's buy once and then they go off and they live their happily ever after. If that's what's right for them, fantastic. If they want to go and pursue other people, fantastic. But if there is a new goal, if there's a new North Star that can become available after 3 months, 6 months, or 12 months of being in your service, what does that is? You show them how you can support them in that. They already trust you. They've already got that bond with you. The likelihood that they continue with you, if they believe you are the person that can facilitate that next stage of growth for them, they will continue with you, okay? Property package, intellectual property. This is the leverage growth system. Okay, it's time and energy protected. When I say time and energy protected, when people are looking to scale, they normally just scale by adding more cores, more features, blah, 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 blah. More doesn't necessarily give you more in terms of growth. So sometimes what ends up happening is you start building a more complex model. You start making it a little bit more confusing for the customer, a little bit more confusing for you, a little bit harder for you to keep up with things. So yes, as you're growing, you want to be able to make sure that you're buying back time or at least not investing more time. But it also has to protect your energy, because if it starts becoming overwhelming, if it starts draining your energy, at a certain point, you can't show up the same way for your customers and they need you to always show up. So as you're growing, we keep an intentional focus on protecting my time and protecting my energy. So at some point, you're going to move away from working one-on-one. It's not fully move away from it. It just means that your one-on-one becomes your most expensive service. And there's a limited availability at any given time. But you move into serving one-to-many, okay? Because it's more scalable. And at a certain point, you'll understand how you can serve in one-to-many the same way as you can serve in one-to-one, and people still get the same results. So in order to do that, you get to a certain point where you look at how do I package this intellectual property, in a way where I can work with more people without having to sacrifice more time, more energy, but also in a way that doesn't affect the way that people get results when they hire me. So what I'm specifically talking about here is when you kind of start moving into phase 2 and phase 3, so 10 to 20K per month or 30K per month and beyond, this is where it really comes into play. If you're still in phase one, do not worry about this at the moment. All you need to do is grow, refine how you deliver your service so that when you get to a point, you are understanding of what does this look like for me? What does this process look like? What have I seen to be my proven methodology, my signature way of getting people results? And that's how you can start to, build the video libraries, do the, group coaching course, still keep an element of one-on-one. It's always important, but a more scalable way. So, you're not capped out at just working with like 10 clients at any given time. You could work with 30 clients, 40 clients, and still deliver an exceptional experience for the people that are hiring you. Choreograph client experience. Again, what are the milestones? Okay, so when you understand, and literally as you work through this service of category one of mine, you're going to see a choreographed client experience. It is being properly mapped out step by step by step so that everything can kind of work. So a choreographed client experience just simply means that your clients could basically work through that and they can still get results independent of you. It's designed to be that good. It's not just a random collection of videos that don't support each other or don't really have any continuity between each other. Okay, it is a structured system put together to help people get results. But also, what are the touch points? Okay, so making sure that they're working through things, making sure they're feeling supported, making sure they're feeling served. Okay, so making sure there's milestones, making sure there's touch points. So it's not just basically you're selling people like a video course. Okay, it's still very much personalized service and there's still a strong connection to you and access to you. But when you can choreograph the client experience, it's good for you as the business owner. It's good for the clients because you're creating a systemized way of being able to serve one-to-many in a way where people still get results. There's specific touch points and they've got access to you or your team at every single point of the journey. So the milestones they're working towards, super clear. There's always intentionality and how the service is being delivered, and it's engaging them and it's keeping them working through the service. So we'll go into a lot more detail in that when we actually go through to the trainings on how do you build the leverage growth model. But for now, you've got the overview. Okay. So again, let me just go through this. So we know you want a $30,000 per month business. We know that we need to get you out of obscurity, make sure you're not cash strapped, and make sure you're not trading time for money. We've got the proximity effect, the omnipresent growth flywheel, covert sales, signature intellectual property. Standard practice includes these 6. Build your audience of your ICP, become a category of one, lead your market, generate interest and demand, do covert sell-ins, run your campaigns, have an offer that sells itself. Okay, within the offer that sells itself, they're always going to be having an inspiring customer journey and a choreographed experience, even if it's in a one-to-one. This one here is as you start scaling into phase 2, phase 3. Okay, so it is all interlinked. Nothing is out of alignment and it's all there for you. It's a very simple system. Now, what is important is you understand your strengths and your weaknesses right now. So there's a traffic light system. Red is poor, needs immediate attention. Amber, it needs some work, but it's not a priority. Green, you're doing good, keep doing more of this. So when you're looking at these points here, which are red, so when you're looking at the purple, which is red, which is amber, which is green, whatever you score yourself in any of these, including the inspiring customer journey or choreographed client experience, depending on what services you already come to us with. And again, you've got a group program. I want you to score yourself down in these sections as well. So red needs immediate attention. That's your priority to fix. Amber, passable, but not exceptional. Okay, we'll need work, but in the future, but not a priority. Green, all good. Keep doing more of that. So just go and rank yourself on that system. And whatever is in the red, focus on that immediately. Don't need to read through that because it's basically, that's what I'm saying there. Now, when you are marketing yourself, what I want you to understand is what I've just taken you through here. So how does what I've just shown you fit with your social media content? So you could basically take this image and you could put whatever your North Star is, okay? So my North Star for people that are working with me is they want to build a 30K per month lifestyle business. There are 3 main constraints. I have 3 solutions. There are 3 main principles we build it around. And then I've got mechanisms and processes for each of those. So I know I need to basically call out people that want this, who are struggling with these, and then say, hey, I've got a solution to this, and my solutions give you this, this, and this. And here are my methodologies. So each of the purple that you see is my content. So if I'm saying, build an audience for your ICP, it's not just build an audience. It's not chasing virality. It fucks me off that these idiots that sell these social media services, they just go broad, go wide. If you've ever done it, if you've ever experienced it, you'll understand that it's like, it feels good for a moment. And then all of a sudden it's like, I don't have sales opportunities in there because I haven't attracted people that actually would buy what I've got. It's better to build an audience of buyers or potential buyers than build an audience of people just because a number on a follower account or whatever it may be looks impressive. I can then go into multiple different ways of how to become a category of one and lead your market. I can go into multiple different ways of how I can generate interest in demand. I can speak about my covert selling system, how to build an offer that sells itself, the cash campaigns and effortless sales. These are all my content pieces. So again, when you're looking at your business, what's the North Star that your clients hire you for? What's the main constraints? What are your solutions to those? What is the actual principles in which your business is built on that people actually want to? And then what are all of the different mechanisms and systems and intellectual property that you've got? Because once you're clear on that, it's like, right, I'm never stuck for content ideas. I've literally got 9 categories of content, all of these purple ones. Now within each of those, I have subtopics. So then I've got multiple ideas. I've got like 30 different kind of content ideas that I can produce content for, but it's all aligned because each of these is this, which solves this, which leads to this. And then also whilst they're doing that, making sure that they've got this, this, and this. So that one image, if you do it for yourself, will literally give you zero confusion or misunderstanding or misinterpretation of what your business, your marketing, your messaging, and specifically why people need to learn from you. Okay, so there you've got it. Deep dive, $30,000 per month blueprint. And that's the thing that's going to give you the freedom. So you understand we want to fix the 3 constraints. I've given you the solutions. We've got the mechanisms. You're going to learn those for the entire thing. But now you understand that image. All of it interlinks. It is like a web. Everything is connected. And it's simply service-led content, service-led conversations into assets, mini magnets, lead magnets, your indoctrination series so that they can get the proximity effect to you. And it's the mini series itself and the email mini course itself is all derived from your offer itself. The cash campaigns are all leading towards the offer. It is a simple system of easy yeses that people will go through, getting to a point where they're ready to work with you. Okay, they are buying, you're not having to sell. Okay, now you know what it looks like. My voice is starting to go because I've been going for an hour, but now you've got a deep understanding of that. The next thing to do is to actually just go through and learn what the omnipresent growth flywheel looks like in its entirety. And that's what I'm going to cover in the next lesson. Okay.